to each other. And also because we have our ISO, so we have our in-house training, and then also we because we have we cater to different Doremi cater to different type of event, indoor, outdoor, exhibition, conference. So we have separate business unit team for each of the event, because every type of event is very different. The people who does the outdoor event, they have to look more to safety, the weather, the waterproofing. Whereas on the indoor, we are looking more at wiring, and then we are looking more at the view of the whole venue. And also, of course, it depends on the venue that we are organizing the event. So it's a totally different type of thing. That's the reason why we have a professional unit, business unit catering to different type of events in our company. And of course, for product wise, we have more than 8,000 products, which we have a catalog. Maybe if anyone interested, I can show you guys later. So so I think that gives a view of what Doremi does, and so. And also maybe there's a little bit of difference because you guys are in Sabah and I'm in Peninsula. So maybe if there's any, and also the landscape now is a bit different in the sense that maybe some states are able to organize events and some states are not able to organize events. So if there's any differences that I presented, maybe you can ask the question later on. Okay, so we can move forward to the next slide. Okay, this is some of our award, which I think we can move on to the next slide as well. And then also next slide, and then next slide. Okay, these are some of our services. That's the reason why we need different business units. So we do exhibition, meeting, conference, product launch, roadshow. As you can see from my slides, we actually do quite a extensive different type of setup for different type of events. So if you have any question, ask me later. Next slide. Yeah. So after the lockdown in March, we have moved on to virtual events. Actually, virtual events are actually virtual event. I would say that is not much difference for the organizing part, except that now because you need more rehearsal time. You definitely need more rehearsal time. We actually organized a conference before this, and then the rehearsal time is actually 2 weeks compared to before the pandemic. The rehearsal time maybe is only 1 or 2 days. So that's the reason why I'm only going into the more to the producing part of it. Of course, when organizing an event, you definitely need idea and concept. You need to determine who's the audience, and then you need to create the agenda, find the right venue, which now the venue will be in Google Meet or in Zoom, or maybe in exhibition, maybe is the organizers online website. I think 2 weeks ago we did a exhibition booth, and the exhibition is actually taking place in, if I'm not mistaken, is Athens, Greece. So we have to follow the time difference. So the reason then in Malaysia we have to do like 72 hours non-stop standby in front of the booth, so that the walk-in of the exhibition can view and can speak to our salesperson at the booth. That one I will provide a sample photo later on, so that you guys can have a better understanding of how a virtual exhibition take place. That one later I'll say more. So virtual event overview. So we'll start with registration. Of course, payment gateway, if any, and then confirmation, reminder via email, all that. And then we'll have a virtual venue, so that everyone, because everyone is so used to going to a venue, So we have to have something like a virtual venue so people know where to click in. And then inside the venue, we'll have virtual room like exhibition hall, auditorium, networking lounge, all that. You can do it 2D or 3D, depends on your budget, and also, of course, depends on your time, the time that you have to organize the events. And the best part about doing virtual event is that you can have a report, and the report can be very, very extensive compared to a real life event. So maybe that's the plus point about organizing a virtual event for a client. But as of for now, I would be honest, the take up rate for virtual event is not that high yet, because people are just waking up, and then they realize that, okay, now we are going to do virtual event, and more venues in Malaysia. We are actually setting up studios for people to do virtual event, which I will provide example later on. So yeah, we can move on to the next slide. Okay, next. So this is how the virtual venue look like. So it's basically a landing page where when you give a link to someone, to your participant, after they have paid, then this is the page that you will see. So, and then from there, the plus point also is, instead of printing banner and all that and hang at the venue, you can see all the sponsors at your first page or wherever you want to put your sponsors logo at. Okay, so this is basically a landing page, and of course, your supplier or yourself, you can design however you want your venue to look like. You want it to look like a spaceship, also can. You want it to look like Sabah Convention Center, also can. So this is basically how it looks like. So next page. So after you go in, it will look like a lobby. It will look like a lobby. So because people are so used to going to venues, so that's the reason why we design it to look like a venue instead of just a normal web page with index lobby, this. So this one is much more easier. Actually, it's much more easier for the participant to go into this virtual mode. Actually, it's not so much about organizing an event. It's more about how to get your participant. They will feel the familiarity, and they straight away see, oh, okay, if I go to watch webinar here, all my webinar will be there. If I go to virtual booth, all my virtual booth will be there. And then of course the plus point is, again, you can put many of your sponsors there. So this will be something good for the selling of sponsorship. Okay, so this will be the lobby. So next page. This will be the auditorium. The auditorium is where all the live thing happen, because when you look at just now that webinar could be all pre-recorded. But whereas in auditorium, maybe people that join in here can come up with the Q&A. They can ask questions, and they will get live response from the speakers. Of course, this we will have to take into consideration the time difference of each of the speaker. So we will have to choose whether pre-recorded or live, or we can have a semi pre-recorded, and then we can do a hybrid one. Okay, next. So this is how the exhibition hall look like. Basically, you just go in and click onto the booth, and then you will have the usual thing, the brochure, the video of the company, and then also what other thing? Also, the exhibition that we organized two weeks ago, you can actually have live chat with the salesperson. So that one comes under another category already. This exhibition hall may or may not come with live salesperson, live sales pitch in the booth. it depends on the facility, or depends on the capability of the web of the platform, I would say. Okay, next. So I would like to talk about the virtual setup. So these are the type of virtual event. I'm not sure whether you guys have studied about the types of virtual event. Basically, there is three types. One is pre-recorded. Second type is totally live, which means this is the same thing that I'm doing now. Okay, and then the third type uh, is hybrid. So which means there is a real venue, like for example, there is a in Satir City Convention Center, or you can imagine Sabah Convention Center. The event is happening there, but there's only a minimum amount of people. For example, press, maybe the VIP or the award winner will be there, and the whole event will be streamed live or pre-recorded, and then will be streamed later on. So these are basically the three types, and then from there we can add on maybe the Q&A session, and also different type of level of live into the element, into the virtual event. So we can go next. So this is a webcast. So basically, webcast is one-way communication, which means like only I'm talking, you guys cannot. So it's like just like watching TV like that lah. Okay. So next. Okay. Webinar is online tutorial, and then okay, this is basically a online tutorial to explain more about the product. So next, and then live stream event. So like just now what I say, although you can have many types of virtual event, but basically it just boils down to three types. And for the hybrid part, you just need to see what is the element that you want to do live, and then what is the element that you want to pre-record. Okay, next. And the setup overview. I actually already went over this. The setup overview is basically a hybrid event studio and then a green screen event studio. So hybrid event studio, basically it means there is also people inside here. So this is how the hybrid event studio look like. Okay, next. So this one, sorry, maybe you can. This one is to help to enable the return of the large scale event. Like just now, I mentioned in KL side, because we have CMCO. So our, what do you call that? Our live events is only allowed since 18th of December. So this also means that we are, instead of just green screen, we are now able to do hybrid event with minimum attendance in the real venue, which follow the SOP, of course. So, okay. So, so what is in the hybrid? Next, yeah. What is in the hybrid studio? Like just now, what you see in the photo, there will be a LED screen. Of course, the LED screen will be a backdrop of the award winner, because there will be live audience. So that's the reason why we need a live LED screen to showcase what is happening in the venue itself. Okay. So, and then of course, this one you can include Q&A, or you can choose not to include Q&A session. The live Q&A session is really up to you. And then also depending on platform, and then also depending on the organizer's preference, we can choose whether to publish all the Q&A session at once, or we can choose the questions that we want to publish. It all depends on the organizer, and also of course this depends on the planning. There is, of course, I think there is much more planning that needs to happen before the event in hybrid and also virtual situation compared to a live situation. There is much more planning that needs to go behind it. Okay, this is one of the hybrid studio that we set up in the Setia City Convention Center. So next. So people can just, if like for example, a client that wants to record a short video, they can just go into a hybrid studio and then we can just straight away shoot maybe 2 to 3 minute introduction video for them. So it's all can be done. Next, the stage lighting is, of course, as with all shooting, lighting is very important. That's the reason why so many YouTubers, they have that round light in front of them. Lighting is something that's very, very important. From what you can see in our audience now, all our lighting is different. So that's the reason why we all look so different. I'm sure we all look different when we meet each other in real life. So lighting is something that's very important, very important. At least you have a bright lighting and do not make it green color or some strange color so that you look a bit strange. So lighting is something that's very important. Next. And sound system, because it's a hybrid event, so the sound system, you need it to be able to be recorded nicely, because some of the sound system, if you don't record it, and then you have to separate the recording and also the live part, you have to separate these two so that when it comes out in the video, it sounds and looks correct. Because some of the venue, they might have a booming problem, like for example, their acoustic not good enough. So that's the reason sound system is very important. You must separate the recording and then also the live sound system. So these are the two things that we must take care of. We must take care of the live audience that is in the venue, and then we must also take care of the virtual participants that's online or in the webinar later on. So this is one of the things that we must take care of. Next. AV system. So for us, our LED is studio grade. So that's the reason why you see some of the LED because the refresh rate is not high enough. So maybe you see a gelombang, like a wave like that. So it's something that's it's nitty-gritty things that really affect the quality of your show. Okay. So next. Okay, let's go to Green Screen Studio. Green Screen Studio, this one for filming students, I'm sure they are already very familiar with this. Is there any filming student here? No? Okay. So Green Screen Studio is something that you can be anywhere and everywhere you want. Like for example, if you stand in front of a green screen, you can be in Paris, you can be in Tokyo now, but the fact is we are only in Malaysia, okay? So next. Okay, Green Screen Studio, of course you need to have the green screen. Why we using green is because green, actually a lot of people ask, why using green, cannot use blue screen, gray screen? Because green is the color that not much people will wear on the shirt, especially that type of green. And then also our face is not green. So that's the reason it makes it easier for the editor or for the computer to crop your look to fit into the background. So that's why it's green. But the thing about green screen is that if for people who is very visual, they will realize that there is a little bit of green overflowing into the face, or maybe the hair maybe sometimes crop away already by the auto crop of the software. So it also depends on how good the software is, okay? So that's the thing about using green screen compared to using LED screen. Of course, then green screen lighting, and then next. Sound system, because this one we need what do you call that? An in-ear monitor for the speaker so that we can prompt the speaker. Like for example, you have to prompt the speaker, look left, look left. Your PowerPoint slide is on your left. So the speaker will have to look left, and then it will pretend the thing is there, even though it's not there yet. So we have to have a professional sound system into the speaker's ear, and at the same time also for the recording side, for the recording part. So yes. Any question? Oh no, okay. So that is okay. So that it sounds more professional. Yep. Any question?
Miss Lim, sorry for interrupt.
Yes. Oh, then we can go on to the next slide. AV system, we need to have a prompter for the...
Sorry for interrupt.
Yep.
You have 10 minutes
10.
Before we proceed to the next session.
10. Okay. So
we have 10 minutes before we proceed to the next session.
10. I'll fly through all this. And of course, for the AV part, it's more to prompting what the speaker needs to speak about and what the MC need to tell. So for this, the MC is very important in the way that we actually create the flow from the beginning till the end of the event. So we really need a good MC to not have any break in between the event for this for using this green screen studio. Okay, next. Video software, of course, like just now what I say, the video software is something that's very important. So this is one of the green screen studio events that we have done. This is actually done for MDEC Tech Week. So you can see how many laptops we need. Actually, now the inventory that is the most high demand is the laptop. Because one virtual event, we might use up to 10 or 15 laptops in order to control what's coming up next. Okay, next. So this is the back-end production so that everyone can have a look. So as you can see, a small screen up there is a prompter for the speaker to let them know how they look like and what they should present. Next. This is how the participant will see. Despite how just now this vice president is just in front of a green screen. Next. So this is also participant view. Next. 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 Okay, so this is how it look like for a virtual event. See, next. Next. Okay. Next. And this is another one. And also this is our training program for more and more of our virtual event, upcoming virtual event to come. Okay, next. Okay, so that's all. Any question from the floor? You can unmute your mic and then ask me question if you have any. If no question, then we'll move on to the next speaker.
Miss Lim?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question.
Alright.
Okay. Before the pandemic, right? So you were organizing many physical events, right?
Okay. So thank you, Miss Lim. You have your wonderful.
Anissa? I think Anissa punya internet.
We have bad connection already.
Yeah, I think.
Part and parcel of like virtual event. We have to depend a lot on the technical and also.
Okay, I just want to ask a question, Ms. Lim. Do you ever encounter any like technical problem, like people hacking your webinar?
Hacking webinar?
Yeah.
Okay, actually it depends. You see, if it's a paid event, then only the participant can join in. So basically, we will know who is the one that is coming into the page itself. And also we are very secure in a way that our server is actually in US using Amazon.com. So like for example, if you have any webinar that you would still like to be published after the event, like let's say usually it's about up to 3 months, it's all stored up there. So if you can hack Amazon, then congratulations.
I see.
Yeah. So basically we know who is coming in. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Lim. Any other question, everyone?
Sorry for the technical. Can you hear me now?
A little bit. I think there's still your line is still problem. I think we can hear you. Yeah. No, not Miss Lim. Hanisa actually.
Oh, okay.
Just I hope we can wait for a moment.
You can hear me?
Yes, can.
All right. So
this is what usually happens.
This is one of the problems, right?
One of the problem. And then 2 weeks ago, like just now when I say that we did a straight 72-hour exhibition booth presentation, and when we are doing the presentation at the booth, and the buyer or the people that we present to, suddenly they will have dogs jumping onto their lap, or their children come back, they have to go and open the door, this and that. So I think we have to accept this as part and parcel of our presentation. Of course, we can try to make it as professional as possible. But then again, we all hope physical events will come back.
Yeah, we will also miss the physical event actually.
we enjoy going to the hotel, going to the convention center,
yes, correct.
to the meeting center to meet our friends. Yeah. Instead of when you're talking halfway, then the dog jump on your lap.
I think Nurhanisa, the moderator, is still facing poor internet connection at the moment, right, Liana? So could you just please take over?
Let us see. Okay. So next will be the Q&A session. So hold on. Let me.
So if
wait, yeah, Miss Lim. Wait a moment, yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe just one. Any question to ask instead of hanging here?
Okay, Anissa, you can take over.
Okay. Sorry, everyone. All right. So there is question actually from the participants. The question is, what if the virtual event still cannot recover the industry? What else can be done since we cannot organize physically?
What you mean? What do you mean by virtual event cannot recover the industry? Actually, you mean in monetary wise, or you mean technical wise, or you mean the meeting, or because we do encounter some problem event during or the technicality wise. Like for example, when we some of the participants, like for exhibition, Nohanisa previously followed me to join metal tech. But this year, when I asked Hanisa to join, she might not be interested. She said, event just cannot work for me. When I look at the machine, I need to hear how the machine sound. I need to smell how the machine smells because of the environmental. So some of the event is really not be done virtually. Some of the event can people need to be there to hear and to feel the real thing. So if you're talking about recovery, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Or what in what way?
How to since we have just now we have technical problem in the virtual event, so like what else can be organized, like how to prevent?
You mean prevent the technical issue just now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You remember just now when I talked about the 2 weeks preparation?
Yes.
So within that 2 weeks, we do recording for some of the speakers, because some of the speakers is a time zone issue, and then some of the speakers they have internet issue. We have so many things we need to resolve before the event. That's why when I look at what you guys have done, it's really quite impressive for student work. So it's really a lot of management work, and then we want it to look as professional as possible, but there is really no way to 100% really know what is happening. This is just the same as live event. I'm sure if you ask Mr. CK, he will also tell you, when during live event, there are so many 100,000 things that could go wrong, but no, the audience just doesn't know lah. So it comes back to rehearsal is very important. Rehearsal and preparation. But with preparation, people and things still happen. So we can prepare as much as possible. That's the thing that we can do. That's the thing that we can do. Like for example, for line issue, what we do is we will have two lines. One is the main one that we log onto. The second one will be a backup line. So if the first one, let's say the time net something wrong already, then we might have another maybe Maxis or TM or in a LAN cable that we can straight away plug into, so that we don't waste the participant time. So this is the things that we try to preempt as much as possible. We do pre-recording, we do double of everything. Even during live events, people are so afraid of cut off of the event. They prepare extra generation set. So this happened last time. We did Anugerah Sukan Negara. The person is actually so good that they asked us to prepare extra gen set. So there's always more way to prevent what is going to happen, but you cannot fully cover because you cannot have two of everything. So just do your best with whatever resources that you have, I would say. Okay?
All right. Thank you, Miss Lim, for answering the questions.
Okay. Any more questions? If no, then I think I have overrun my time already.
Yes. All right. So I will proceed to the next question. I would like to remind that there will be a lucky draw. Those who participate, the winners will be announced right at the end of the session.
Okay. So I'm gonna mute myself. So if any question, you can still come to me later.
Okay, Ms. Lim. Thank you, Ms.
Yeah.
Hi,
All right. Thank you,
Lim.
Mr. Lim.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Everything good?
Good.
All right. Okay. So, can you hear me clearly now?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Hanisa. We can hear you clearly. I think you can proceed with the next speaker.
All right. All right. So, without wasting our time, I would like to remind that there will be a lucky draw for those who participate. The winners will be announced right at the end of the session. So stay tuned. All right then. Let's proceed with the second session.
Yes, Hanisa, we can proceed to the next session. Mr. CK. Mr. CK, are you ready to for the sharing session? Oh, okay. All right. So you can just proceed with the presentation,
All right,
Mr.
then.
CK.
Let's proceed with the second session.
Okay, so I think Anissa's connection really had some problem. So just a quick check. Everybody can hear me?
Yes,
All right,
Mr.
so you can,
CK. We can hear you.
Yes, Mr. CK.
yeah, you can
Yes.
you can view my slide. Okay, so I will start now. I'll take over. Okay, so very good morning, and thanks for the committee to invite me from Klang District Youth Council, or we used to call ourselves as Majelis Belia Daerah Klang. So my name Eng Chi Kai, and today I'm going to share a little bit about event management during this COVID-19 pandemic from a NGO perspective. So this is my sharing contents. I will start with some introduction. Then I will share some events that we organized during this pandemic. And I will highlight some pros and cons on this new way of event organization. And also we will end with some take-home messages. So normally when we talk about event management, we are talking about getting people together to do something. So the usual way is we will group a lot of people together and to do whatever, like in the picture on your left is actually a training, a first aid training session that I conducted. So definitely we don't have any social distancing. If we have any communicable diseases there, definitely it will be spread. So definitely such a way of event organization is no longer applicable on this time. Even seems like the picture on your right is actually a launching event by Ministry of Health. The picture on the middle is actually a run, if not mistaken, and the background of this slide is actually a classroom training. So like classroom training, definitely everybody will sit very close to each other because we try to maximize the participants. And if accommodation is applicable, from NGO's perspective, we will try to squeeze as much as many persons as possible in a room. Especially we are dealing with students, secondary school students. Okay, normally in a hotel room, they will recommend us to put only 2 to a room, but we will try our best to squeeze 4 because from NGO budget it is always our constraint. We will try to use the minimum budget to hit the maximum impact that we can. So from NGO's perspective, we are very different from Muslim, from Doremi. They are doing things very professionally, very organized. They even have ISO in their event management, which I don't think NGO have any ISO in event management yet. Okay, so the new norms, definitely what I show here is some infographics regarding MCO or new norms published by Bernama Group. Okay, so in this pandemic situation, we need to have social distancing. When we go out, we need to have wear masks. We need to wash our hands regularly and all that to prevent the increase of infected cases. So, what our usual way of doing things, organizing events, will be interrupted. And to be frank, I started my voluntary life since 1999, and 2020 is the year which I spent the least time with my volunteering jobs because nothing can be done except like maybe we did a few blood donation drive. That also with minimum participation. Usually when we talk about, when we organize a blood donation drive, we will get like 20 or more volunteers to be on ground for duty, to help out the setting, to help out the registration, to help out after donation, to print the certificate, to serve the hot drinks and also some biscuits and all that. But during this pandemic, our blood donation drive, we only limit to less than 5 packs per session, volunteers. Okay, so this is the most different part in our event organization. So next, I will share some events that we did using the new norms way. So Klang District Youth Council, we had our AGM online using Google Meet. The picture on the bottom actually is the chairman of our council. He's handling the meeting from his home. And definitely a few other committees, his secretary and treasurer is around him, but it's not in the picture. So the other participants are actually joining, dialing in from various places. Some are actually driving. If you see those pictures which darker background, most probably they are in the car. Some are dialed in from eatery place like Warong and all that. we still managed to get this meeting done smoothly. This is at the district level. Google Meet still can accommodate our participants, but when we have our general meetings for the state Selangor State Youth, because our participants is too many, more than 100 packs. So Google Meet only limit up to 100 packs. So we have to utilize two Google Meet together to accommodate all the participants. So this kind of limitation we might need to consider. And for your information, all youth council are registered under the registrar of youth. So the registrar of youth actually acknowledge and also approve for the youth organization to have their general meetings virtually. Same go to Nutrition Society of Malaysia, but Nutrition Society of Malaysia is registered under Registrar of Society, ROS, and they are not using Google Meet, they are using Zoom for that purpose. Next, another event organized by St. John, Selangor. We call it the State Cadet Virtual Summit. This event is actually to group our cadet members age between maybe 13 to 17 or years old. Most of them are actually secondary school students. We group them together, we provide them with some training, and they need to, after the training, they need to sit for the exam, and if they pass the exam, they are entitled to wear some the badge on their uniform. So this is a specific program for this group of people. Usually from, if not mistaken, from year 2005, Selangor, St. John, we will have this program annually. Every end of the year, during school holiday, we will have this kind of program in a camping style. So we will group all the students to a campsite, and we will do the training in the campsite, and we have activities like 3 days, 4 days, or even 5 days camping together. But this year, unfortunately, we can't do that. So we moved to a virtual platform. We use Zoom for that. We actually subscribe to the Zoom. It's not expensive. Actually, if compared that we do previous year when we go for camping, we charge 120 ringgit for participation for 4 days, 3 nights, including everything for the camp. This year, we have 4 days virtual summit. We only charge 10 ringgit because we have more than 360 participants, so 10 ringgit is already sufficient to run Zoom. So the picture on top here is one paper of my presentation regarding the healthy eating. Okay, so definitely during this virtual summit, we cannot avoid technical problems. We will have participants suddenly will be disconnected, and they will quickly join back. And during the lecture or during the talk, the organizer actually compulsory make it compulsory for all participants to on their webcam to check their attendance. There will be committees back end to check their attendance, make sure that they are attending. Those who did not turn on their webcam will be barred from examination and all that. So all these checking precaution methods are in place. And we found that those some of the participants might be quite shy to ask questions when we have it in camp, when the lecturer is standing in front of them. But during this virtual summit, they don't have that problem anymore. They can just drop their questions in the chat box, or they can just turn on their mic and ask their questions. So, and from the committee side, the most encouraging feedback is when we do examination, because when we do virtual examination, all will be on Google Form. So we save a lot of time marking their examination paper, because Google Form we can just generate the marks. So we save a lot of effort there. Previously, we used to use paper tests, and we need to have a group of people marking their papers. Imagine 300, more than 360 papers we need to mark for each subject, and we will have 5 to 6 subjects for this session. All right, that is for the State Cadet Virtual Summit by St. John Ambulance Selangor. Next, I would like to share another event is actually the Nutrition Society of Malaysia Conference. This year, the 35th scientific conference, we have to do it virtually. Just very similar to what Ms. Lim shared just now. We have this conference have a few different platforms. One of it is the live platform that the oral presentation, the keynote lecture, and also the symposium. They have the other platform for poster presentation, which I presented my poster for my master study as well. So the good thing for me is I don't need to pay for the poster printing. I just need to prepare in PDF version and publish in their website. And the live oral presentation is using GoToWebinar online platform. And they do also have virtual exhibition similar to what Ms. Lim sharing just now. Companies will have will create their own page. Some company actually do have the live interaction platform, either using Twitter or using LinkedIn to communicate with the participants during the conference. All right. Unfortunately, the organizing committee up to today, the participant feedback is still in progress. They are still tabulating the data. So unfortunately, I cannot get the final report of customer feedback or the participants' feedback for this virtual scientific conference. But for me, attending virtual scientific conference, the good thing is I can freely sit in my room and enjoy the conference myself in my own way. I even have time to make my own cup of tea during the conference, which in the real scientific conference in hotels, I'm not able to do that. But the side back is we definitely don't have opportunity to interact with other conference participants, which networking for me is very important. And if we do it virtually, we don't have that opportunity. Same, this is from Nutrition Society of Malaysia as well. Every year, the Nutrition Society of Malaysia will have a carnival called Nutrition Month Malaysia in Klang Valley. Normally, we have it in Klang Valley. Normally, if we have carnival, the venue will be in those big shopping complex. We will have exhibition booth. We will have various kind of activities there. But here we have to do it virtually. So this is the website. Actually, the carnival just concluded last month, and on top of this website, Nutrition Month Malaysia also have their own Facebook page, which if you are interested, you can get a lot of resources from their website and from their Facebook. So from their Facebook, they actually have a lot of recorded information in video format for sharing. If you are interested, please visit them. Just search for Nutrition Month Malaysia. So those are the events that I involve directly, or I mostly involve directly. So definitely there are a lot of other virtual events out there that I cannot attend. So these slides I actually summarize or conclude briefly pro and cons of having the event virtually. So for the good part is we can have more participants to participate, like Nutrition Society of Malaysia Scientific Conference. This year, if you are the society members, we can join the conference free of charge. So that is one of the reasons we have more participants, and we have more participants from overseas as well. Because if they join the conference, they only need to pay for the conference fee, which is very minimum. I can't recall how much they need to pay, but they can save on their traveling and accommodation costs. So we can have more participants, and we can have more international speakers for the conference as well. And to organize events virtually, we can have lesser manpower. This is from the point of view of St. John Ambulance Malaysia, Selangor, which if we are doing a camping, definitely we need to have like 30 or 40 committee members to make sure the whole camp runs smoothly. But when we do it at the Zoom platform, I think the committee is less than 10 packs, maybe only 5 packs for the whole event. So we can have lesser manpower. But if we want to have our event at Do-Re-Mi kind of level, so definitely we need to have a bigger team, and we need to have more resources, which I don't think NGOs, we have that, like more than 8,000 items that we can use. Resources is always our limitation. To attend virtual event, for me is we can say it is a more comfortable way. You even can listen to the virtual lecture while lying on your bed. You no need to dress up yourself. You can be naked, right? So comfortable and lower cost is in terms of and it is from the NGO perspective. If we are engaging with professional event management company, I think the cost will still remain the same. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Lim. Because like definitely the virtual scientific conference and Nutrition Month of Malaysia from NSM, Nutrition Society of Malaysia, they actually engage with event company. But for the youth councils and also St. John's, we actually handle that ourselves. So if we handle ourselves, then we can save a lot from there, because we don't need to pay for the venue, we don't need to handle the meals, and so on. Okay, but on the other hand, definitely connection problems is a big headache for us. Um, the organizer, we can ensure that we have backup internet connection, we can stand by and all that, but we cannot ensure all our participants to have good internet connection. So this is our problem, and we can't avoid technical problems. Like Ms. Lim said just now, they need 2 weeks of rehearsal and preparation. I believe after that 2 weeks rehearsal and preparation, still, when on the day, technical problems still arise. Okay, and we can't actually avoid that, but we can do our best to have backup plans. That is for sure. And activities limitation I put here is because if just imagine if we go into camp, so in between the course, in between the lecture, we can actually have a lot of games, a lot of group activities and all that. We can even bring them to jungle trekking or and all the fun stuff. But using Zoom, very limited. And normally in camp we will have campfire night, but definitely nobody will put on the fire in front of their computers or handphone, right? And last but not least is about networking. I mentioned just now, we have limited interaction within the participants, which I personally feel this networking is very important for an event. All right, so probably one of my last slides, the take-home messages. So we need to be clear of the event objectives. So in this new norm way of doing things, we need to be creative. The third point, just to as long as we can achieve what we want, what is our objective, what we want to achieve, then be creative using whatever platform that we can. There are a lot out there, you name it. Some are free of charge, some are you need to subscribe. All can be done. And please remember, we are not alone. You are not alone. Let's collaborate. Okay, like today, the students having this webinar, you collaborate with Doremi, you collaborate with Klang District Youth Council to bring in technical person to give you some sharing. So this is a collaboration. If you need to do something else, just collaborate with other people. And just now, the KFC voucher sponsored by some other team, right? That is another collaboration as well. So working with NGOs, we really, because of our limited resources, we need to collaborate. We cannot be our lonely hero in this event management. Okay, so last but not least, feel free to join us. I put on two logos here. One is on the left is Sukarelawan Majlis Belia Selangor Daerah Klang. This is a group of people who was in the council previously, but they are due to their age limit, because nowadays, or if you join any youth organization, the maximum age limit is 40, and we are going to bring down to 30 soon. Actually, the government policy already set the gap is 30 for youth organizations. So our seniors actually they interested to help the community more. So they get together and form this team called Sukarelawan Majlis Belia Selangor Daerah Klang, and this group of people will respond to, will volunteer themselves, will help out in a lot of events. Doremi, Ms. Lim, if you need volunteers, you can always contact us, Sukarelawan MBS Daerah Klang, or even Rakan St. John. Rakan St. John also another initiative from St. John to get more people to be volunteer with us. So feel free to contact us. I believe St. John in Sabah also, they need a lot of new volunteers. Please feel free to contact them. Join us. And I think that's all from me. Thank you. Over to you, the moderator. Any question for me?
Yeah, there will be a question. Hold on, because Nur Hanisah line is still problem. So open to the the participant who want to ask the question. Yeah.
Liana, look at the chat box. Madam Silverin
Alright.
has a question. Yeah, 2 questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just read the question from our Madam Silverina.
Right.
So after
can
the
you hear me clearly?
hold on, Anissa. Let me just answer. Just ask the question. After the situation is getting better, safe flight and opening borders are back to normal, do you think the virtual event will still be the first choice for most organizations, especially for the economy point of view? And do you have a statistic of how successful on virtual events achieving their objectives? This is open to any of the panelists that can answer this question.
Maybe okay can.
I think, yeah, okay, I can hear you, Miss Lim. You can answer the question also.
I think from maybe Sika can answer from organizer point of view first.
All right.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lim. Definitely, we are still normal human being. We like to work according to our usual way. We are so used to the normal way, the usual way of event organization. We still need to meet the people, and we need to create the wow factor, the wow feeling, and human touch cannot be replaced just via any virtual platform. So definitely, if the pandemic situation getting better, I believe most of the organization will choose go back to the normal way, and to be frank, to get sponsorship, to get support for a virtual event is harder, or rather to say this is a new stuff that we are yet to encounter those people which willing to sponsor a virtual event. Because we used to have sponsors for a live event. So in terms of resources, we still prefer for the live event, definitely. And definitely from the economy point of view, you all are from hotels and tourism management. If we don't do live event, then your industry will be dying. I believe that. For statistic wise, I don't think so far I don't have any with me. Even for I actually requested from the Nutrition Society of Malaysia. They still compiling, and they still working on the report. So I don't have that yet. Thank you.
Okay. Is it me? Okay.
Yes, over to you.
For the statistic wise, I would say the take up rate is about 10 to 20%. I can understand why your organizer hasn't give you the result and feedback from that conference yet. I think maybe it will take a little bit longer time, and then it will take a lot of explanation to do that. Because for me, virtual event will definitely get better and better. Actually, we have done this sort of event more than 10 years ago. It's just that now we are more focusing on this because there is a necessity for meeting, like for example AGM and all that. We must meet and then we must discuss. That is our human nature. We discuss and then we come up with a better solution. That's what the difference between human and animal. So that's the reason why we must do meeting. So definitely the feature in virtual event is going to become better. Like just now, Mr. CK, they have come up with a way to check on to make sure the participant is actually behind the scene. I'm sure they'll be asking question, hey, are you there? Please check in now. So actually this is something new that I learned from Mr. CK. So the statistic wise is about for now because we just I think we just finished our MCO in May, and then RMCO is roughly in about October. No. Is it, yeah, October, RMCO October. Actually, during RMCO we did I think about an event in PWTC. You know PWTC now rebranded as WTC. We did an event there about 1,000 plus people. So I definitely can confirm you that people would still like to meet. And then everyone there is so happy because they haven't seen each other for so long. Of course, must follow SOP lah. So people will still prefer to meet, and then people that will still need for for the wow effect to meet your friends. And because if we meet virtually, unless there is already a trust level between two of us or between the people that's meeting, it's very difficult to arrive at a conclusion or to arrive at an agreement that we want, unless there is already a trust between or we already meet before. So yes, it's coming back, and then the virtual take-up rate, like just now what I say, and it will definitely grow. The virtual event take-up rate, it will definitely grow, because if there's no choice, then we have to do it lah. And then for the offline touch wise, what we can do for the organizer is that we will send a pre-pack to the participant. Like for example, if it's St. John unit, or if you want to set up a campfire in the room, maybe we can set up send some Lego set or something like that for them to do like a teamwork in front of the what do you call that, in front of the camera lah. That this is the things that we can try to make virtual as normal as possible, as easy to take up as possible. That's our job, to make it as easy to take up as possible. Yep. That's all for me. Any extra question from the virtual take up rate?
All right. Thank you, CK, and thank you, Miss Lim.
Okay, Nalisa, you can just proceed to the next session.
All right. Again, I am very sorry because I'm having a technical problem right now. My line is very messed up right now. So here with an open session for Q&A from the participants. The speaker will be given 15 minutes to give a talk, and this is sort of open discussion to give opinions or sharing with the participants. Okay, so the first speaker is, the question is, will virtual events to people attending online? So over to you, Siki.
will virtual event manage to connect people online? Definitely, we are connecting to each other online, but what I say, the human touch, the personal touch is not there. Like today is my first time meeting Miss Lim, so but just seeing her face from her webcam, if she has a good camera filter, then it might look and that that definitely is not real, right? So and we can only see each other like half or maybe the head only. Some even don't turn on their webcam. So a lot of body language. Even if I give a live talk, definitely I will walk around and I will have a lot of body language. But talking in front of my laptop, I can't do that. The most is my hands, right? So we can know each other by name or by the face, but to know each other more, to get to a closer relationship. The relationship can be anything, right? To get a better collaboration, I personally still feel that meeting in person is a better option for me.
All right. So another one question. If you see just now, you have a virtual carnival event, right? So, what is the most challenging part in organizing the virtual carnival event? Because this seems like a new things for us. So, can you
Okay,
right,
to
over to you.
okay. To have the event organized virtually, like Miss Lim mentioned just now, the preparation time is actually more. We feel more tiring to prepare or to run the virtual event actually, because first thing first, probably we are not used to do that. We are too used to do the event. Actually, the stress level for myself to present or and to present live is higher to present it virtually. When we do stuff virtually, we want to have the best. So also the stress is there, because virtually can be recorded. Like today, the participant is not like 21 of us in this Google Meet. There are still a lot out there in YouTube, and people can view it even after our webinar. So everything is recorded. So we need to make sure that our thing is run smoothly and all that. But when we do it live, if we have experience to do live, we know how to corner here and there to avoid the mistakes, to cover our own backside. So it's different.
Okay, CK. The participants in the Google Meet, is there any question that you want to ask from to the CK?
Hello, hello. Yes, everyone hear my voice?
Yes, Jessica.
Okay. This question, especially I'm going to Miss Chikai because he mostly about the what do you call that, the belia. So I have questioned this. Because of this pandemic, most of the belia is going to do like TikTok, do like Facebook, and there's lots of alternative to make them avoid from become bored during this pandemic. So what is your opinion on your what we call that your like opinion to make them join such as your program that you have mentioned before, and then how to join the volunteer in what is it, the
St. John.
organization St. John.
St. John.
What
Yeah.
your opinion to make them join this program like that?
Okay, thanks to bring this question up. Actually, St. John, we do facing huge problem now because most of our St. John members and volunteers, we recruit them from the school. When they enter secondary school, so schools will have their co-curriculum activities. So we recruit our members there, and we train them in first aid. We train them in foot drill, and we groom them to become a leader, to lead their own St. John in school, and to become our future leader later when they graduate. But unfortunately, nowadays students are not going to school anymore. They also have their class at home. So what I heard from my friends, they got information from the Ministry of Education. Actually, the ministry don't have any budget for co-curriculum this year, 2021. Just because the student not even going to school. So what for I plan budget for the co-curriculum, right? So that's one of the reasons. So we organization like St. John, we have we are facing this problem. That's why we are now pushing the Rakan St. John concept. Okay, so to be a St. John members or to be a St. John volunteers, normally they need to go through all the trainings because before then sit for exam, then only they can register as our members. But I don't think our general public out there, our adults out there, have the luxury to go through all the training. Especially if you ask the adult to go for foot drill, kawakaki, stand under the hot sun and marching here and there, nobody wants to do that. Even myself now also, if you ask me to do marching, I will try my best to avoid that as well. So Rakan St. John is another platform that we open for general public to come and join us just as volunteers. Will have minimum training here. Minimum training can be zero training as well. The so-called minimum training is up to the group needs. If they feel I want to learn more about first aid, then we will have first aid training for you. I want to learn more about and other things, then we can try to accommodate that. But no obligation on that. But definitely those who joining Rakan St. John is not our full St. John members. So they don't participate in event organization. They don't participate in the our St. John management kind of things. Just that when we have events like recently, Pahang and also Johor is hit by heavy flood. A few parts of Pahang and Johor are actually flooded. So St. John, we actually deploy our assets and manpower there to help out at the relief center to help to cover the ambulance service and all that. So we hope Rakan St. John can be part of that team when we want to deploy our assets and manpower. So because Malaysian, most of our people have very good heart. We are very good person. We like to help each other. So Rakan St. John is a platform for that purpose. So go back to your questions. How to join? Just contact your nearest St. John. If you are in KK, to be frank, Sabah St. John is picking up. They are becoming more active now, but I'm not sure whether KK is really active now or not. But in Tawau, in Sandakan, and other places of Sabah is actually they are moving aggressively. So, but unfortunately, KK a bit slow. I'm not sure why. So maybe you can take the lead if you are interested. If you got more time, go ahead. Okay, you can get my contact number from Hanisa. If not mistaken, Hanisa, you have my contact, right? If you need
Yes.
to, if you need to contact me personally, get my contact number from her. Then I will advise you further. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, CK, for your sharing. So, uh, I will proceed to another speaker, which is Miss Lim. So, the question is, will hybrid events be the future, or should planner invest only in in-person business? Over to you, Miss Lim.
Um, so I believe what the question is asking is whether hybrid event will continue into the future, or there will only be a real life event without instead of hybrid, right?
Yes.
Um, Actually, hybrid event has been happening for very long time already. It's just that it's not the main focus of the event industry. Now we are picking this small part out of the big part that we are doing. We're picking this small part and then we focus and then we make it better and make it more easy for everyone to adapt. Like just now what CK say, uh, when you say something wrong during the live event, not so scared, but actually it's also some of the organizer recorded it. but no worries, no worries. We are very kind-hearted people, so we actually edit that part for you. So we won't put that part in the recorded one. So it's really depends on the organizer whether they want to record it and then if there's any use for it. Even nowadays, there is an inquiry to record webinar. Like for example, association, um, they want to record. Like for example, St. John, they might want to record their first aid training and then put it online, and then just if you go through this first aid training for 3 hours, virtual aid training, and then we will send someone to test your skill, and then after that you can be certified. So there are people who want to do a lot of virtual learning platform, and then when they have a live event, they shoot it and then they put it on online. So it's part and parcel of how you want to use your content, how you want to use the content that you generated. So there is no yes or no. It's just how you want to use your content.
All right. So there's another question here in the chat box. So Jasir said, in business segment, this pandemic has caused many people to lack income to participate in programs such as virtual events. So what is the way to attracting the public to join together?
Lack income to participate means no money to participate in virtual event. Is that the question? Actually, a lot of association, including the association that I'm in, they are giving free membership for the year, or maybe they are charging very minimally, like just now Mr. CK, RM10 ringgit. I think RM10 is just a token to show that you are interested instead of to covering the cost. Because you cannot cover the cost of the volunteer, you cannot cover so many other things you cannot cover. So I think now is the time for association to come forward and to give benefit to the member on how we can give more value to the member. So I think lack of income maybe depends on the type of event that you want to join. Depends on the type of event that you want to join. If you join St. John, I don't think need a lot of money. But if you are joining some guru sales and marketing event, maybe you need a lot of money. So yeah. So does that answer your question or yeah, answer? Okay, good.
So there's a question in the YouTube live, YouTube participant actually, Miss Lim.
Yes.
So the question is, what is the best software to use for live virtual event?
Okay, I would say to use the platform that you are familiar with. There is like just now Mr. CK said the go-to meeting is actually very good. If you are familiar with Zoom, Zoom is very good. If you are, I think would be to if actually I've joined a meeting using Microsoft Teams. It's actually so easy to use, but the organizer decided to make it so difficult to use. So they want to verify you so many times, and then so I think it depends on the organizer and then the instruction you give and then the preamp that you give before joining the event. Yeah, the step by step. I think that one is something that's very important. So GoToMeeting is one that's very good. Zoom is something that everyone is familiar with. And then Google Meet also is something that everyone is familiar with. There is one that we have used before for the exhibition. The organizers decided to make their own customized platform. This German organizer. And the worst part is everything from our end is set up already. They won't let us rehearsal. Only open door last minute. So we don't so yeah, but in the end all went well but it's very scary if there's no rehearsal beforehand. I can tell you that the 10 minutes just now before our presentation actually helps a lot. At least I know how what to expect. At least I know who's the participant and then how should I talk to them. So yeah, that comes back to how you should do it. Rehearsal, preamp, and then let people know what's gonna happen. It's just the same as organizing virtual event. Even if you go to landing page, even if you're at the website, it's very good if you can have like a small chat box that you can chat to the person directly. Imagine if like in the landing page where you are in that just now my slide, that landing page, if you have a small chat box for the participant to ask questions, like for example, where should I go next? I've already seen this. Then you can come up with the agenda. Okay, maybe Miss Hanisa, you can go to this. This is what is happening at 12:30. So you can join this. You can join our networking. So I think it's very important to let your participants know what is going to happen next, so they can join instead of feeling lost looking at the screen, then don't know who to look for. Like the German exhibition that I joined, when we emailed them because we have problem, like why is the door not open yet? But because of time difference, no reply. So okay, so that answer your question.
Yeah, right. So the last question will be in the chat box. As long as you implement the event before this pandemic season, what kind of event is the most challenging and what is the challenge?
Me or Mr.
Okay, it's okay. I go first lah. Thank you. Okay. Actually, I don't have answer for that question actually, because each and every event will have its very unique challenge part. You can never imagine what kind of things that you will get during the event actually. Can you imagine during a secondary school students camping that you need to launch a police report? I did that. because during the jungle trekking, the jungle trekking tour guide was being complained by my participants that he go and touch, molest my participants. So I was there as the camp advisor. Actually, I was enjoying myself there. I planned to leave the camp, go home. But unfortunately, that complaints come in that I cannot do that. I spent my entire day in the police station for that report. So, but thankfully, after our police report, that particular tour guide immediately got caught by the police lah. Okay, so you will never imagine, you will never expect what will turns on to you, and and especially I do a lot of event. I involve in a lot of event dealing with so-called VIPs, the politicians or the high rank government servants and all that. So when dealing with that, although that is the last question. Okay, protocol is a very interesting part. If you go for different organization or different organizer, they will have different kind of protocol. Okay, I believe Miss Lim will have that experience as well. And yes, I do have that experience as well. And protocol, when I learned about protocol officially, when I joined the protocol course, my teacher, my lecturer actually told us that protocol is just a standard, okay, on paper, so that every people's try to follow that kind of standard protocol. But how to implement it, how to do it, still depends on the organizer. So from my experience, go back to your boss. Go back to the boss. Who is the most senior there? Who is the boss? Who is the project manager? Go back to him or her. That whatever he or she said, that is the protocol we should follow. Okay, this is the key. Don't get yourself panic. Don't get yourself headache. Just listen to the boss. The boss can overrule everything. Okay.
All right. CK. That's a good sharing. So, Miss Lim, is there any you want to share with us?
Like what just now Mr. CK said, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So, I for me, the most memorable event would be the music run before the pandemic. Yeah, before the pandemic, that would be to set up 200 unit of speaker over 5 kilometers span in an outdoor environment for 20 to 30,000 people. So yeah, but ever since we done that, actually because music run is actually throughout is a run franchise throughout the world. So ever since we solved that problem, because Malaysia is where it all started, and then it started to franchise around the world. So after we figure out how to do this, actually people from other country come to Malaysia and see how we do it, and then they go back and then learn to do it. So we are sort of like the prototype. And ever since then, we have continued this for, I think, 5 or 6 years. I think that is the most memorable one. Other than that, of course, there's VIP for us, there's client. But like what you say, if anything, go back to the boss. The only problem is you must identify who is the boss. Other than that, I think it's just part and parcel of working in event. We have to do problem solving. That's our job.
All right, Miss Lim and CK. Thank you for your sharing. It was, I mean, like, it's very inspiring us, and it is good sharing actually. So we will proceed to the last of the session. All right, technician team, please get ready. I'll announce the lucky winners in a short while for the lucky draw. So the luckiest winner is Ahmad Shahid bin Rosman. So, so the second winner is Asma binti Aras. So the third or the final winner is Nurul Hikmah binti Chapa. Okay, congrats the winners. So the winners, please contact Dayang Liana and Siti Aisyah. Please check the chat box to contact our committee. So thank you. We have come to an end of the webinar. Thank you very much, Miss Lim, and thank you, CK, as our speaker today. You are awesome. So nice having both of you today. Perhaps we could have another session in the future. Thank you. Thanks to everyone for attending and participants today webinar. We will send you the certificate via email within a week, and please do not forget to give your full name as in your IC and your current email. As the participants, once you leave today's session, you will receive a survey on Google Meet and YouTube chat box. We would appreciate if you could complete that and provide your feedback. Next, I will hand over to our team manager, which is Firdaus, to end the webinar. Over to you, Firdaus.
Thank you, Nurhanisa, for giving me the opportunity in this session. Before I end the webinar, on behalf of my faculty, Bachelor in Tourism Management, class of HM 2413A2, I would like to express my gratitude towards our manager, Mr. Alvin Gatu, who has given us a lot of guidance throughout the process of making sure that this webinar event runs smoothly. Next, thank you to the other lecturers who have participated with us in this webinar. I would also like to extend my gratitude to our invited panelists, Mr. Lim Yi Huang and Mr. Ng Chi Kai, for the informative speeches. Also, thank you to our sponsorship, which is from Pasukan Kru Kelana A. Last but not least, not to forget to all my team members who have worked hard in making this webinar a success. We would also like to apologize for the shortcoming technical error during the webinar. Thank you for joining us and have a great day ahead. Don't forget the SOP, avoid 3C and practice TW. Thank you and see you again.
Thank you, Miss Lim.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Miss Lim, Doremi, and
Miss
Mr.
Lim and
Chikai.
For anyone who would like to stay in touch, actually, I have put my Facebook link at the box.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Miss Lim. Really, thank you so much for having